As we know already from the previous sessions, energy of a molecule is quantized. And from the Born-Oppenheimer equation, the energy of a molecule, total energy of a molecule will be equal to the electronic energy plus vibrational energy plus rotational energy. Thus, along with all other forms of energy, rotational energy is also quantized. It is no more arbitrary. This rotational energy is limited to certain definite values only, which depends on the shape and size of the molecule concerned. Schrodinger wave equation can be used to solve the permitted rotational energy values or the so-called rotational energy levels. Let us consider a rigid linear diatomic molecule with masses m1 and m2. So here from the picture we can observe a diatomic molecule with two atoms having one as mass m1 and the other m2, which are joined by a rigid bar. So let us imagine the bond is rigid and the bond length is given by R0 equal to R1 plus R2. The molecule rotates end over end about the point C, which is the center of mass, where m1 R1 equal to m2 R2. Here the moment of inertia C is defined by I equal to m1 R1 square plus m2 R2 square. And by substituting, we'll get finally I equal to R1 R2 into m1 plus m2. From the above equations, we can reduce R1 equal to m2 R0 by m1 plus m2 and R2 as m1 R0 by m1 plus m2. By substituting 4 and 5 in equation 3, the moment of inertia of the molecule about the axis of rotation is given by I equal to m1 R1 square plus m2 R2 square equal to m1 m2 by m1 plus m2 R square. So finally we are getting I equal to mu R0 square. So here mu R0 square we are getting the moment of inertia is equal to, which defines the moment of inertia in terms of atomic masses and bond length. Here mu is called as reduced mass of the system, that is the product of masses by sum of the masses m1 m2 by m1 plus m2. Thus the diatomic molecule is equivalent to a single point mass mu at a fixed distance r from the axis of rotation. This type of system is considered as rigid rotator. So as we already know from the Schrodinger wave equation, which is given by del square psi plus 8 pi square mu by h square E psi equal to 0. The potential energy term V has been taken as 0 because R is a fixed value. Since it is a rigid molecule, rigid bond, the potential energy can be taken as 0. Thus, when a diatomic linear molecule is attached to a weightless rod R, the solution of Schrodinger equation is given by Ej equal to h square by 8 pi square I j into j plus 1 in terms of joules, where R is the rotational quantum number varying from 0, 1 to 3 and so on. H is the Planck's constant. I is moment of inertia. So this equation 8 expresses the allowed energies in terms of joules and also shows that rotational energy of a rigid rotator is quantized. But in the rotational region, the spectra are discussed in terms of wave number. So by converting the equation which is in terms of joules, so as we have seen in the previous equation 8, by using the relation E equal to hc by lambda, we can convert the energy in terms of centimeter inverse, and we are getting here the equation 9, that is epsilon j equal to h by 8 pi square ic j into j plus 1 centimeter inverse. So here c is the velocity of light expressed in centimeter inverse since unit of wave number is reciprocal centimeters. Rotational quantum number J is not an arbitrary value. It arises directly out of the solution of Schrodinger equation and effectively allows only certain discrete rotational energy levels of the molecule. Equation 9 thus is abbreviated as epsilon j equal to Bj into J plus 1, where epsilon j is the rotational energy of the molecule. Here B is rotational constant and is given by h by 8 pi square IC centimeter inverse. The moment of inertia here can be IB or IC but not IA, because for a linear diatomic molecule Ia will be equal to 0. Thus energy of rotating diatomic molecule is epsilon j equal to Bj into J plus 1 centimeter inverse. By substituting all the j values like 0, 1, 2, 3 and so on, if j equal to 0, the energy of the molecule is also equal to 0, which shows that the molecule is not rotating at all at the 0 energy level. If j equal to 1, the energy of the molecule is 2b, which is at lowest angular momentum. If j equal to 2, the energy of the molecule is 6b and so on. Thus we are getting the rotational energy levels with some definite energy, and in the picture you can see, so these are the allowed energy levels when j equal to 0, 1, 2, 3 and so on. For the transition j equal to 1 to j equal to 2, the energy of the molecule will be 4b centimeter inverse. So the absorption line here appears at 4b centimeter inverse. And for the transition j equal to 2 to j equal to 3, it will be at 6b centimeter inverse and so on. So from the microwave spectrum of a rigid rotator, it is observed that two adjacent spectral lines are separated by just 2p centimeter inverse. Thus the selection rule is only delta j equal to plus or minus 1, where plus 1 is for absorption and minus 1 is for emission. In microwave spectroscopy, consider the transitions in which j changes by 1 unit, which is called as selection rule. So for microwave spectroscopy, the selection rule will be delta j equal to plus or minus 1 and all the other transitions are forbidden. Thus here the figure shows allowed rotational energy levels of a rotating molecule for the given j values 0, 1, 2, 3 and so on. And also as j value increases, the rotational energy epsilon j also increases. But in practice, when the energy of the molecule increases continuously, that is when the molecule goes on rotating, there comes a point at which centrifugal force of a rapidly rotating molecule is greater than the strength of the bond and the molecule will be disrupted. But this point is not reached at normal temperatures. Coming about the applications of microwave spectroscopy, this is very helpful to determine the bond lengths of gaseous polar molecules, in ascertaining the symmetry of gaseous molecules, in determining dipole moments, to calculate bond length as well as moment of inertia of the molecule, in astrophysical applications, radio astronomy, probe of molecular universe using telescope, etc., and also to determine moisture in various tobacco types. But there are still some limitations. This technique is applicable only for polar molecules which are having permanent dipole moment. So it is not at all applicable for non-polar molecules. And also the sample should be in the gaseous form so that the molecules are free to rotate. And this technique is difficult while studying the large molecules by this technique. Hope students you have followed the session. Thank you.